What's up, everyone? Lance Hedrick here, and today we're going to go over something that might not sound exciting, but I promise you it'll be really intriguing and will help you understand the role fines play in extraction. Today we're going to look at my 2020 United States Brewers Cup Championship routine. In it, what I did essentially is I partially brewed fines and removed them midway through my brew. And it's a process you can do at home. It's not anything too complex. All you really need are 2 conical brewers. I'm using flower drippers, but it doesn't really matter. You can do V60s. And then you need an able cone or some sort of mesh cone, okay? So that's really all you need, all right? So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at that, and I'm going to talk about what is going on and why I did it, just as a way to illuminate how fines play a role in extraction and what we can do about them. So in that routine, my goal was to produce a cup with the most luscious body and with the most clarity as possible. Normally, those two things don't go hand in hand. So think about on a scale of from French press to a V60. Over here, with the French press, you have little to no clarity at all, but you have an incredible body. And then on this side, with the V60, you typically have a very low body, but extreme clarity, right? So what I wanted to do with that routine was to kind of combine them, find a way to get the best of both worlds, get a syrupy body with an incredibly high sweetness and clarity of flavor, all right? And I came up with this idea, all right? So we're just gonna jump into it, and I'm gonna discuss what I'm doing while I'm doing it, and I would love for you to try this at home and get back to me on your results. So I'm going to use 15 grams of coffee, and you can see from above how that's ground. I did it on about 24 clicks on a Comandante. All right. So that's what we're looking at. And then what I have done is that from above, you see I have a filter already wetted into this brewer, and I have a filter already wetted into my second brewer, and I have it off to the side. All right. And we're doing this all into one decanter. I'm going to place my mesh filter on top of that paper filter. All right. Paper filter wetted. There goes the mesh filter. All right. Now I'm going to take my coffee, dump it in. Done. All right. So we've got our 15 grams. We have it in our able cone, this mesh filter. I'm going to tear the scale. All right. So, and I'm going to level it out. There we go. Now, one more thing that you will need is some sort of stir stick. I would not advise a spoon. You can use one. Maybe turn it upside down and use the other side of the spoon. I'm using a stir stick that's quite thick. You can find these on Amazon or somewhere. Anyway, this is what I'm going to use for my agitation. But let's go ahead and get started, and I'm just going to talk to you about what I'm doing for every phase. I have my water at about 206 Fahrenheit, but you can do it really at any temperature. I'm doing a little lower temperature because how high of an agitation I'm about to give this coffee. All right, so to start, I'm doing a 40-gram bloom, and then immediately after, I'm going to take the stir stick, and I'm going to aggressively, you see from above, I'm going to aggressively stir for a couple seconds. All right. Now, the point of this aggressive stirring is to ensure that we have fully saturated all of those grounds, all right? And because we're using this mesh filter, water is going to escape quickly, and that's why it's imperative to quickly take whatever stirring object you have, get in there, and quickly stir aggressively, because that water is going to leave immediately. It wants to get out of that mesh filter, and since those are visible holes, it's quite easy for the water to escape, all right? And so on this second pour, what we're going to do is pour 90 grams of water at 45 seconds. Boom. And I'm going to blast it. I'll go up to 130. All right. And then again, immediately after, I'm taking this stir stick and I'm aggressively stirring. All right. Now, why am I stirring so aggressively, you ask? Well, it's because of this. I'm trying to force all of those particulates into suspension. All right. Once they're in suspension, when I'm stirring, I can shoot fines out through that mesh filter to be caught in the paper filter below. I know what you're thinking. What? That doesn't happen. That's impossible. Well, you're about to see. At about a minute 30, I'm going to take this mesh filter off, and I'm going to switch it into the new brewer. And we're going to remove that paper filter that has all of those fines we have now collected. All right, so we're at a minute 30. Now watch this. I'm going to take this mesh filter, which has our coffee in it. I'm going to tap, tap, tap. All right, just to make sure all the water that's in it is out. And I'm going to switch it into this brewer. All right, now watch. All right, I'm going to take this. There's still a little bit of water in here, as you see from above, which is okay and expected. That's going to happen because all those fines have now clogged this filter below. I'm going to take it with just a little bit left, and I'm going to switch to this cup to discard. And I'm just gonna set that off to the side for now. Now I'm going to replace my new brewer with these grinds without a lot of those fines, which I'll show you here at the end. So for this final pour, what we're going to do in this new filter is I'm gonna blast with 90 grams. So remember to tare your scale and blast it. All right, so we've done that final 90. I'm gonna do one more little stir, and there we go. All right, so what you're gonna see when I finish this brew, and once I remove that mesh filter, is that we have caught the majority of the fines in this first filter. In the second filter, there's not gonna be very many left, all right? And that means that in the first 130 grams of our brew water, we were able to extract heavily those fines. Now, because fines have that extra surface area, a lot of exposed surface area, we're able to pull a lot of those oils that contribute to body readily. But for the same reason, that exposed surface area can make those fines begin to give off bitters extraordinarily quickly. So because we need more brew water and more time for a proper extraction, I wanted to remove those fines so that we get the goods from them without contributing the bads, all right? So in effect, I'll be able to get the body from those fines as well as the sweetness, and I'm able to maintain clarity by getting rid of them, all right? So our final filter is going to look like this, all right? All right, so here in a second, I'm going to splay these out on a plate so that you can see the difference between the two. So in my routine, I wanted to show the judges that I truly was able to remove a bulk of the fines from that brew bed. Because I know it sounds great in theory, but unless you can prove it, it doesn't mean anything. So I'm gonna show you now these two filters spread apart. All right. All right. So, as you can see from that above view, here's our first filter that we removed. Look at this. I was able to remove all of those by getting them ejected through that mesh filter to be caught into this paper filter. And then I was able to remove them by just switching my paper filter underneath the mesh. Look at all that, all right? And then over here, you have barely any that are left. All right, so in my experimentation when I was getting prepared for this competition, I did multiple brews of this, and I was measuring the amount of fines in a typical 15-gram dose, all right? And the way that I was measuring fines, and I know that the definition of fines varies, and this doesn't really, a lot of these particles aren't necessarily fines, but I was counting everything under 200 microns as fines because 200 microns can fit through this mesh filter. So I was counting all of that as fines. And I was getting about, on an EK43, about a little over 2 grams of fines in a 15-gram dose. And again, I know fines are typically smaller than that, but for all intents and purposes, I was counting 200 microns and below when I was sifting. I was getting about 2 grams, a little bit over, in a 15-gram dose at that particle size I was hitting. And so I would brew this and I would allow the first paper filter to dry overnight, and I weighed how much coffee was on that filter, and almost 1.8 grams on average was what I was able to remove of that 2 grams or whatever the initial dose was. So I was able to remove around 75 to 80% of those tiny, smaller than the ideal grind size for this brew method within that first portion of the brew, okay? So the idea here, again, is to ensure that I'm extracting those fines without over-extracting them. So I would love for you to give this a try. It's going to give you an incredibly syrupy body because we extracted those fines, but it's also going to give you clarity because we got rid of them before they over-extracted and muddled the cup. All right? So this cup that I've now made is going to be incredibly sweet. It's going to have a deliciously viscous body, but it's going to have really nice high clarity. So I'm going to take a sip, and I'm going to celebrate this delicious brew. Fantastic. Anyway, thank you for watching this. Thank you for watching me deconstruct this really nerdy brew. Again, Able cone, conical filters, 2 conical brewers, and some sort of stirring device is all you need in order to replicate this at home. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. It'll be really telling how much fines your grinder's producing, and it'll also teach you a lot about the role that fines play in extraction. So just remember to tare your scale when you switch those filters. Awesome. Thank you so much. Check out my recent Chemex video and my V60 video if you're into these manual brew types of videos. I have really great recipes that you can tweak and make your own, and I'll link them right here and here. Thank you again. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. I'd love to interact with you all. And join my Patreon, and we can have some more one-on-one chats there. Thanks so much. Cheers.